I am here with John Horan, who is a former county commissioner of Seminole County and also the chairman of Seminole County Board and the only resident of Winter Springs to ever serve on the Seminole County Commission, which I just think is super impressive. So I'm so happy to be able to sit down with you, get your thoughts on the city of Winter Springs, and just, you know, get to know you. The one thing that's impressed me so far about you is when I went to your house when you were on vacation over the summer and left you some swag. And I saw a little table with, you know, Crunch bars and all these different snacks. And it says, you know, for our, you know, postal service or whatever. So I took one and I thought, what a cute idea. I loved that.
Well, I have to give credit to my wife for that because
super
unfortunately
sweet.
I wouldn't have thought of that. As a matter of fact, this is the first time I've heard of it, so I don't think she even told me about it. So yeah. She's
You've got a cute little display.
When you have a fifth grade teacher as a wife, you know, those things happen.
I love it. That was super sweet. So tell me, what's on your mind today? What do you think is the biggest issue that I should be looking into? Shall I win this election on November 8th?
I think that when you look at what has happened with the city of Winter Springs, you're really talking about a city that has a number of different dysfunctionalities. First, we have problems with our water and sewer system. Our water and sewer system, which is funded by rates, not funded by our taxes, but funded by rates, is already in a situation where they're getting consent orders from the regulatory people. The sewage treatment plants are rusted. They have to spend a whole lot of money to bring everything up to date, and that's going to require bonds to be issued, and that's going to have an effect on rates, which are already high. So that seems to me to probably be the biggest problem. The other thing that bothers me is that we continue to have a very unbalanced tax base. It's so heavily residential. You don't have the ability with Homestead and Save Our Homes and everything else like that to really take advantage of the increase in property values. And of course, the commercial property doesn't have a homestead exemption. So when you look at the top 10 taxpayers in Winter Springs, 7 of those top 10 are apartment complexes because they are recently developed, they have high values, and they really don't have an effect on the residential portion because they're designated as commercial property. So 7 of the top 10 taxpayers in Winter Springs are apartment complexes. The other thing that bothers me is just the behavior of this present city commission. I don't like their work habits. I don't like the way they conduct their meetings, the lack of professionalism, the lack of competence. It's gotten to a point where I usually don't get involved in city elections, but this time I thought I'd get involved.
And why is that?
I really think that what we need is more competence, more caring, more maturity, to be frank about it, and people who have some experience in the kinds of things that are problems in the city. I think that we need somebody like you who has an experience with development interest, environmental interests, water and sewer, and has run her own business. And I think that that's one of the reasons why I want to support you, because you also seem to have good temperament. And I think courtesy and kindness is very, very important when you're a public official, because arrogance will kill you every time. And there's been too much arrogance and too little competence. So I think we need a change, and that's why I'm supporting you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. And being a Winter Springs resident here.
Since 1987.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah, you're invested in this community, and we just want the right thing for our community. I mean, we're all on the same team. And so we all just need to collaborate together instead of fighting each other.
Well, that's the thing that you have to understand about serving on a commission with other commissioners. It's collaborative leadership. I can remember when I was running for county commission the first time, I had the honor and the pleasure to have Carlton Henley, longtime commissioner, sit down and talk to me. And I was running against an incumbent, so I was running against one of his colleagues. And he was good enough to sit down and talk to me, and I said, Carlton, what is absolutely essential for me to know about serving as a county commissioner? And Carlton, with his very deep voice, looked at me and said, John, you need to be able to count to 3. And you know, so you can't get anything unless you convince your colleagues that this is something that you should do, and you got to have 3 votes to do it. And sometimes you need more than 3 votes if you're going to get a veto from the mayor. You know, so you gotta think strategically. You have to think collaboratively. It's difficult because under the Sunshine Law, you can't actually talk to your colleagues. So you have to understand where your colleagues are coming from, and you have to be able to think on your feet.
Right.
So you have to have well-conducted meetings. You have to have a good person as the mayor or as the chairman who can conduct the meetings in a way that puts his commission, his or her commission, in the best position to make good decisions. So you have to understand that it's collaborative leadership.
Absolutely, yeah. So John, election day is closing in. What advice do you have for me?
Well, let's see, you got about 50 days till the election. You know, I think the best advice I can give you is that your best day on the campaign trail is never as good as you think it is, and your worst day is never as bad as you think it is. Just be persistent, play to your strengths, which are competence, temperament, the ability to collaborate. And I think that that's, more than anything else, people are looking for true, authentic leadership. So be authentic.
Here's to the election. Thanks so much for all your support. I really, really, really appreciate it.
Sure thing. Good
Thank
luck.
you. Thank you.